Hello and welcome to Sakshi. Today's topic is about US presidential elections. With just 25 days to go for the US presidential and general elections, all eyes are on US. Everybody's waiting with bated breath. There are several firsts in this election. Kamala Harris, the Democratic presidential nominee, is the first African American female to run for president of the United States. On the other side, on the Republican side, Donald Trump, the former president, is the first, the Republican nominee. He's the first president of this century to run for non-consecutive term in the US. In fact, he's the second president after Grover Cleveland in 1855 to run for non-consecutive term. As we all know, there are 7 battleground states, and pretty much in every election, the battleground or the swing states decide the election. That's where most of the candidates pump all their money in. This time it's Arizona, Nevada, Georgia, North Carolina, Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania. To talk about this election, campaign, and the prospect of Kamala Harris, we have 3 guests who are representing the Democratic side of this elections. Let me welcome Rajiv Gajjar. Rajiv, welcome.
Good evening to all the viewers. My name is Rajiv Gajjar, and I am the chairman for Indian Americans for Kamala. I've been involved in politics for the last 36 years. I was elected in 1998 to the largest engineers union in New York City, Local 375, DC 37 AFSCME. And I was first elected Asian American in New York, and my good friend Upendra Chukula was the first elected Indian American as a mayor, assemblyman in New Jersey. So we have been fighting for the longest time, and we have been looking why Indian Americans are not in politics. And we work hard, we have a good work ethic, and we make money, we contribute in every field. Why not in political field, the civic field? It's so important. Everything we do in this, it's all politics, whether it is infrastructure, whether somebody is going to be there to pick up your garbage, or how the water quality is, how the kids' schools are. So I was interested in schools. They said, why didn't you come and involve in Staten Island? So that's where I live with my wife and 2 children. I ran for school board, and I was school board president elected, first Indian American elected. I was a transportation and waterfront committee chairman. And then I ran for city council. I didn't make it. Just 2 years back, I ran for state senate. It's a New York State Senate. Unfortunately, it didn't turn out good because the COVID came. I didn't expect I'm going to be in the middle of COVID. So otherwise, I would have won the election. Around 5,000 people voted for me. That was a big issue for me, and I'm excited. Now, If you ask me why I'm excited, I was involved heavily in Obama campaign, Hillary Clinton campaign. I wanted to see a woman elected as the president of this country, and I thought Hillary would be the first one. For whatever reason, it didn't happen. It was very disappointing, but everyone said, the country is not ready for a woman. Okay, fine, thank you. We waited long, said maybe, we never knew. There could be an Indian American running for president. So
talking about women, we also have Alize as our guest. Alize, you would like to introduce yourself?
Yes, hi. So my name is Alize Uterine. I'm from France, but I'm also living in America, being an American citizen as well. And I wanted to be there to join the movement because being an immigrant is in America, and I haven't seen that much, the Indian people to really heavily involved in politics. And I think now that you have a woman, but also with the black descent, so I figured we should, join our forces to work together to make it happen, because I think that will be a strong message to the world, having an Indian and also Afro-Caribbean people, working together to make this election an historical moment.
Yeah, thank you. We also have Srinivas who's our guest. Srinivas, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, I'm an international lawyer. The reason we have come up is, first of all, I was discussing with Alize because Kamala has got some Jamaican heritage and Indian heritage. And then she said, yeah, it's a great idea. We should join hands. So we are also doing some work in Harlem with some African Americans, and we are also doing last week myself and Rajiv Saab was there in some Indian Indian American groups, and tomorrow we have some more schedule. We're going to Pennsylvania. So the reason I got involved is, even though I was a citizen of US for a few years, the first and foremost thing is, Kamala Harris is actually a lawyer. So, and when you see Trump, he's been convicted. So I said, a lawyer president would be a better person than Trump. And the other thing is her background of she being a prosecutor and attorney general of the state of California, and she was always fighting for immigrants and people with distress. So that motivated me to start this movement. And when we discussed with our chairman Rajiv Gajjar, he was in politics for a very long time, and I know him from Indian Congress Party. He's also a president for Karnataka. I know him from that time. So I discussed with him. He's also into mainstream American politics. So he said, let's join hands, and we started.
So let me ask you this question. Let's start with you, right? So you mentioned you prefer a lawyer to be a president of the professions. On the other side, Donald Trump is a businessman. So do you think lawyers are better equipped to become presidential candidates or presidents as opposed to businessmen?
I wouldn't say a businessman, they run corporations so they can run the country too. But in this situation, when you see the scale, balance of convenience, because the one side, this guy, is committed a lot of crimes, and his lawyer went to jail, his campaign manager went to jail, his finance guy went to jail, and he's been convicted for many counts in New York, and he's been banned now by the New York State. The other side, when you see, she's a clean lawmaker, and she's also a vice president of the country, and she follows the law. So somebody who's not following the law and somebody's following the law. So it's better a lawmaker or a person who follows the law would be the better candidate for this country. And that was my reasoning. Right. That's the reason I said, and I'm also a registered Democrat.
Yeah, I'll come back to the corruption and convictions in a second. Rajiv, you mentioned about you fighting since 1982. I think 1982, Ronald Reagan was the president. 1998. Okay, Clinton times. So what do you think you're fighting about?
I just want to finish what I was saying before. So the first woman president, Kamala is, she's not only an African American, also Indian American. Her mother is Shamala. So it's brought everything together. Maybe this is the time to see a woman elected as the president of the free world, so to speak. And what other better time? So we are all Indian Americans, we're involved, we've been waiting for a long time to get somebody elected, and here comes this opportunity. So we jumped in, naturally, to help her get elected. So we formed a group called Indian Americans for Kamala. I was going to wear the t-shirt, but so this is our Indian Americans for Kamala t-shirt. If you look at in the back, this is the one.
That's a cool looking t-shirt. Is that only in the state of New York, or is it all?
No, it is anywhere we can, our group is, it's not limited to one state, and it says clearly, let's go Kamala. So let's go Kamala. Lotus Potus, So it kind of rhymes good, right? The lotus and the porous. So I think all the indications are that, this is the time to see a woman elected. And listen, there are a number of things that are happening. Coming back to your question, why we think Kamala is better? We saw what happened in the last term during Trump. I don't want to get into that. You all know about it. We have some fundamental issues here. Our education. Here is Trump. They want to take away the education department itself. Can you believe that? If the education is no good, you don't take away the department, you fix it. Am I right? You agree with me? Yeah, we have to fix. Anything can be fixed. You cannot take away the education department.
Yeah, Trump was talking about not just education, he was talking about taking away a lot of departments and
Yeah.
reducing the government.
Yeah, so we don't want that. We want to fix the things. Our infrastructure needs fixing, right? I'm an engineer, as an environmental civil engineer. I've been fighting for the last 20, 30 years to bring more money to fix our cities. Our cities are old.
Yeah.
Our infrastructure is so
we got
old.
the bipartisan infrastructure bill passed.
We passed that bill. That's such an amazing thing. We have to be proud of everything. If you go on Gothel's Bridge, for example, or Bayonne Bridge, don't you feel good? Huh? Our highways are looking better.
I can talk about the Gateway Tunnel.
Yeah, Gateway Tunnel and LaGuardia Airport.
$16 billion project. Thanks to infrastructure bill, finally there's some traction on the
and
Gateway
Pennsylvania station. That station is going to be named after a famous hard-working senator, Senator Moynihan. I walked with him. I talked to him. Such a great gentleman. And these are the things we want to see happening in New York City in the tri-state area.
So you you also mentioned about the times in the 1990s when there were not a lot of Indians. But that's changing now. There are a lot of Indians now in almost all the down ballot races
Absolutely.
too, all the way up to U.S. Senate.
Yes.
So there's a lot of Indians running for school board, for assembly,
Yes.
Senate, council, Congress, of course, and now
The president.
the president.
Yeah.
And actually on the Republican side also there was an Indian female running for president with Indian descent. So what difference do you see the times in 1990s versus times in 2020?
We are Indian Americans are like that, When they see somebody one in, then there is no way you can stop us coming. So they kind of wait and see. Once they know that it's a comfort zone, yes, I can do it. See, you have to have a role model. You have to have trailblazers. When we got elected, that was the first question they used to ask me or Upendra. How did you guys get elected? What is we kind of, mentored a lot of people. Come on, get involved in school board, get involved, it's okay. You should give some time. It's important. At the end of the day, you want better schools, you want better infrastructure, and the water you're drinking should be safe. And when you walk in the streets, right, you should be safer, right? The schools should be safer. I introduced many legislation that the schools should be safer. Kids should come home safe.
Yeah.
So all
Talk
these
about
things,
gun shooting and
gun shooting, all these things which Kamala, if you look at Kamala Harris, issues, these are the issues she's fighting for. She's not only a lawyer prosecuting criminals, but also, she's talking about these core issues. For example, if you ask me about, if someone going to buy a house, you work hard, all the youngsters go to college and they work hard, they want to buy a house. That's the great American dream, isn't it? And guess what? If you buy a house, you are going to get $60,000 down payment assistance. Isn't it good? It's great news. Trump is not talking about that, right? And if you have a child, I'm sure it's going to be hard because both parents are working. $6,000 you're going to get an assistance to take care of the baby. So these are the things. In every which way you look around, our policies are good. And that's why we're excited.
So talking about the platform, Alize, this question goes to you because you mentioned about your descent. How do you feel when a black female is running for president? How does that make you feel?
As far as I'm concerned, I feel very proud because, 50 years ago, we would have never even imagined that a black woman, not even that, first of all, a woman first, okay? And then on the top of that, being black. So I think if she wins, there's going to be a strong message to the world that, first of all, everything is possible. Because coming from her background, humble background, and to reach this level, not coming from a rich family, and still, make it at this level. So I think that would be, I would say, a positive impact for the world and for us as immigrants, or, even for Indian people, to think tomorrow, an Indian female can become the next president of the United States. So I think that would be, a historical moment to share that. And even for the next generation, especially for America, because we know the problem with the races, black, also I'm not saying that, especially black and white, but now having someone who's mixed, with the Indian descent as well, I just think that would be something to experience for the future. But the problem, I would say, my concern, if America is ready for a woman. Just simple fact, a woman. Obama was saying, deliver a strong speech, especially addressed to black men, saying like, we need to trust in a way, like, so, I mean, being a woman, she can handle that, so she's very qualified, but it seems like kind of like a lot of doubt about the fact like she will be able to handle, America, I mean, to be the first female president, so.
Yeah, talking about female candidacy, the U.S. has been lacking in putting women forward. It took almost 40 years for the Women Enfranchisement Bill to be passed. It finally passed in 1919, so it took almost 4 decades. So yeah, go figure. I know you're talking about immigration as well, Alize. Srinivas here is an accomplished attorney himself. As an immigrant, Srinivas, how do you feel?
Well, the other thing what I agree with that, first of all, after Obama, a black man becoming a president of this country, and he was a lawyer too. So there's a lot of hope and in immigrants. And I see a lot of kids, immigrant kids, they want to be the president. And second thing, this is going to be a historical a lawyer again, and colored woman, and that too with Indian origin and African origin. Most of the times, if you see India, we have seen Indira Gandhi was a president long time ago, a prime minister of the country. And that was the only first country, and after that we saw in England and other parts of the world. And now, I mean, America has never seen a female president, and impossible to think of a colored woman. So I think things are changing, and this would change the history of the world, the way the world will look at it. And I'm sure this will give a positive note to the world and to the immigrant children. I mean, I'm a first generation American, and my kids are all born and raised here. So my second one intends to get into politics. So, there'll be a hope for immigrant kids, whether it's a black kids or white kids or immigrant kids.
Right, we've spoken enough about the race, the background. So Raju, my question to you is, how do you think is the campaign going right now? Do you think, I know the national polling changes every day. It's a razor-thin margin. I'm a political analyst myself. So the difference in percentage points is well within the error margin. So I don't take it too seriously, but a lot of people do. A lot of people also think these numbers are actual results or predictions. No, these are just speculations. I don't take them seriously, but a lot of people do. So given the scenario, especially in all 7 battleground states, the margin is less than 1%. So what do you think?
Well, look, I ran for election. Okay, I was on this side, I was on the other side as a candidate. You don't pay too much attention to the poll numbers and what people are talking, because the ground game is different. At the end of the day, it's those undecided voters who are sitting on the fence, and what they do, what they're going to do. The last 20-25 days is so important in this election. From now till election day, what we do is going to be more important. So the numbers are, if you look at it, they both are tied, right? And which may be true. Okay, and swing states are very important. Swing states would have been never important if there was no electoral college, unfortunately, right? The swing states, if I'm right on that, because that's the reason swing states, they call them swing states. So we are determined to make that, we are not complacent, so to speak, because I saw that what happened during Clinton time. And we don't want to let that happen. So we are focusing all our efforts in the swing state. So we will be tomorrow morning around 9 o'clock campaigning, door knocking, and shaking tomorrow, and talking to the people why it's important. This is democracy itself is in danger. And this election may be the election. Everyone should come out and cast their ballot. Don't listen to anyone.
Don't they say that for every election?
Huh?
They say every election is the most significant election. That's okay. That's fine.
Yeah, so the elections are important, and sometimes, Arun, they say that, I'm one vote. It's not going to change anything. I believe it or not, I have lost a small election in just single vote. I have lost, and I felt it. I said, one vote makes such a huge difference. And it's a day off given to everyone.
I'm glad you brought this up. Just to substantiate what Rajiv said, there were many council and board elections where people lost less than a dozen votes in like thousands of votes. Sometimes there are cases where they lost with less than 6 votes.
Yes, I will ask
one vote. In the US, so exactly. So that's right. I
every
cannot.
Vote counts, and don't ever think that your vote is not going to be counted. That's our job. We make sure that your vote is counted. Don't listen to everyone. See, you go there, it's your right. It's your day. You go there, you are given a day off, and claim that day and go and vote and say that I did it. I made my voice heard.
Right, it's funny you mentioned about voting, because given how technologically advanced the United States is, we expect more participation, but the average voter turnout, at least in the past 4 to 5 decades, at least from Ronald Reagan, 1980s, has never surpassed 65%. It's actually a shame. In general, voting is a privilege, and which everybody must exercise, regardless of who they vote for. There must be voting.
That's your right.
Period. So, was this voting percentage this low even in the state level elections? The reason why I ask is, in New Jersey, voting average voter turnout never crosses, like in the assembly elections, never crosses 26-27%, which is even worse.
That's very disappointing, and I plead with you guys. There is nothing should be holding us back. It's our right. When you become citizen, when you raise your hand and say that you're going to do X, Y, Z, and that is what you say. Hey, I become a citizen, and I can exercise my vote. So please go there. Vote whoever you want. If you don't like anyone, vote for yourself. Right? Which I don't encourage you to do that. But please do it. You know why? When elections are said and done, everything is over. Then say your community need a school or a firehouse, then you go to the politician and you ask them these questions. Hey, listen, we need help. They are going to look at which community turned out good, who they supported, and those guys who went overwhelmingly, they are going to get better things. You don't see that, do you? Because that's what happens. Watch my word. That's what's happening. That's why some neighborhoods are getting more and more things, some neighbors don't. So everyone's vote counts. You have to exercise your vote. Then you have the right to demand the politician, hey, look, you don't do this to my community, then I'm not going to turn out and vote for you.
Yeah. To wrap this up, Alize, how is the momentum on the ground for Kamala Harris, from what you've seen?
We need to be out there, especially not thinking of, because we talked before that we should not pay attention too much to the poll, everything, but the media has a key role here. So it doesn't matter. Yes, of course, on the ground you have to do the work, but I know for a fact, working with some people also who have been at the ground, that we still need to do the work. So the days left, we need to work very hard. It's not going to be easy. It doesn't matter, even she has a tight, difference with him, but we just have to put the words, not just, talking, just be out there. And even for the Black community as well, they need to vote as well, because there's a lack of, participation as well when it comes to the Black community. So I encourage also, the Black community to be out there as well, because, as our chairman said, one word, it can make a big difference. So I would say, we have to speed up to be out there and encouraging everyone to vote.
Yeah, Srinivas, so you meet a lot of people in your profession. What do you see a momentum for? How's the momentum for Kamala Harris right now?
Well, as Alize said, it's not going to be that easy. It's very tight. But as you rightly said, every day the polls are changing. And as Mr. Rajiv said, we can't concentrate too much on polls because, as you said, it's only a speculation, but we have to do the hard work. We're trying to put a few more weeks in the coming weeks, and we're going to work hard. I think she will win.
So to wrap this up, if I were to ask you guys one word, not one sentence, one word, why should anybody vote for Kamala Harris? Okay, let's start with Rajiv, because he has the most experience. Rajiv, one word.
Well, my question is, why shouldn't anybody vote for Kamala?
No, that's more than one word. One word or one phrase, right? Why should anybody vote for Kamala Harris?
Because this country desperately, one word, it's a very tough to give one word, she's the right person.
That's it. That answers. Alize.
Hope.
Hope.
Yeah.
I like that. That reminds me of Obama's campaign.
Yeah.
He ran on the Hope campaign. Srinivas.
And change,
Yeah.
because the
Change.
world is going to change, because a woman president for United States.
I like that. Hope, change,
Woman,
and yours was
the right person.
the right person. I like those words. With that, this comes to a wrap. Thank you to our guests.
Thank you.
Rajiv,
May I-
Alize. Yeah, go ahead.
I just want to, before you leave, our group is known as Indian Americans for Kamala. It's www.indianamericans4kamala.com. And we encourage everyone to join. Please, our group Indian Americans for Kamala, www.indianamericans4kamala.com. Please log in and check it out, and come join us, volunteer. We need you. We have carpooling. We will take you to PA, and you can be with us. It's fun. Campaigning is fun. I promise you, you're going to enjoy it, and you will say that you're going to come back to talk to people. So come yourself, bring your friends, family members on weekends. Let's do it together. Vote for Kamala. Let's go Kamala.
Wonderful. In case anybody's wondering why Rajiv is picking Pennsylvania, that's not because it's his favorite state, but that's because it's a battleground state. With that, this comes to a wrap. Thank you, Rajiv, Srinivas, and Alize for coming to our
Thank you.
show. Until next time, with another guest, thank you very much.
Thank
Keep watching Sakshi.